Hello and welcome, 28th of May, it's about 9 o'clock in the morning. Been down here for about an hour already. Done the strimming as evidenced by the state of my legs. I haven't been down the allotment for a couple of weeks apart from to water stuff in the greenhouse, so stuff's coming on, mostly weeds, which can be a bit daunting sometimes. You come back and there's all this green stuff and it's not the right kind of green stuff. Sometimes it's best to just bit by bit see what you can get done. Let's see what we can get done in the next few hours. Let's start at the back, work forward. Let's start in the greenhouse. So the state of the greenhouse at the minute, we've got some peas in there covered with weeds, we've got some carrots at the back there, and we've got the chilies. Let's start by just giving them chilies a quick weed. So the chilies seem to be doing alright. They're doing better since I stopped watering them as much. They were waterlogged when I was watering them every other day, so twice a week now, and as you can see they're starting to develop. Chilies, got a lot of flowers on them as well, so all good there. Carrots, I'm not normally successful with carrots, apart from one batch last year seemed to work for no particular reason. They're doing alright, they're doing alright. I'm just gonna leave them in the greenhouse. Why not? Why move them and risk things changing? I'm gonna weed my peas next. Well, I can't say that that was a success. Of the, I don't know, 20-30 peas I've sown, only 3 have germinated. Yeah, it was an old packet of peas, whatever. I'll put them outside shortly. We'll have a look at the peas outside soon. Also, I mean, they're supposed to be melons. Underneath the weeds. Yeah, no melon. No melon. You win some, you lose some. So in front of the greenhouse, nestled in the long grass that's appeared in the last 2 weeks, nasturtiums. Sowed the seeds 3 weeks ago. I think they've all come up, so that's worked. They're going to be part of my battle plan for something that will come up in a bit. Some things do work. So we'll move forward in the allotment, past fruit zone. Let's see, apples are forming nicely there. On to where we've got the garlic and onions. As you can see, garlic there, a few weeds between, I'll give that a hoeing, and the poor little onions that were grown from seed and transplanted here a month or 2 ago, and that needs some serious weeding, so let's get on with that. Well, that looks better. When you're weeding, you've got time to think. Looks better than what? Better than what? There's still weeds in there. Does that matter? Were those onions perfectly happy as they were before I came along? Damaging the roots, damaging some of the leaves. There's a time to say enough is enough. That is not perfect, but that is fine. It even got, you know, when you're weeding, you've got time to overthink too. Why on earth did I trim before I started weeding? That grass could have kept. Am I trying to keep my viewers in a false sense of wonder at the so tidy allotment that I've got? It is not tidy, it is normal. Yes, I would have done the trimming sometime. That is perfectly okay. Don't stress about things, and I'm talking about myself. Onwards and upwards. So an exciting onion update here. For regular viewers will know I've kept an onion in the ground over winter. It magically grew into about 8 different onions. Started growing seed pods. I was going to leave it to grow some flowers. It's been windy lately. Something has occurred. It has blown over, I suspect. There's not many roots there to hold it in the ground. Let's see if it comes apart. It comes apart. I have no idea what to do with these now. How many we got? We'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. As they've gone to seed, I suspect the onions aren't that good inside, but there's no use saving them for seeds now. I doubt if I replanted them anything good would happen, so get them, chop them up, see if any's edible. It's the end of the magical onion story. I'm gonna now weed my potatoes. Are they first earlies? I think they're my first earlies. I'm not going to stress about weeding, I'm just going to give them a bit of a going over. So that's the potatoes weeded. Onions and garlic took about an hour. Load of faff. Bigger plants here. Rip out the weeds, don't really need to worry about the potato plants that much. You know where they are, they're pretty big plants. So I took all the weeds out. And I was thinking, right, okay, we should F these up a bit. I thought, hang on, I'll just put the weeds back. There was loads of weeds, it was all very green stuff. Put the weeds back. Then as luck would have it, plot holder, a couple of plots down. Do you want a bag of straw? Yes, please. Yes, please. I'll put the straw down to protect any developing potatoes from the sun, stop them going green. So yeah, not going to earth them up. That straw should hold a bit of moisture, keep the weeds down, maybe add a bit of nutrients. All good. Sometimes things work out better than others and quicker, which is good for me. Right, let's move on. So this next bed, down this end, I've got my main crop of potatoes I put in a couple of weeks back, empty in the middle, sweet peas and sunflowers there, leeks at the back, second early potatoes there. Just going to give them a quick hoeing in between and earth them up a bit. Another quick job there, 10 minutes and sorted. So not much to do in this bed behind me this week. Put my cabbage and cauliflower out a couple of weeks back, they're doing well, protected in the cage. Sowed some parsnips, sowed some green beans which are coming up, sweet corn is just appearing, some leeks, and sowed some peas. Let's have a look. Eaten. Oh, I don't really like putting loose netting up. I'm going to think overnight on what I can do to protect them. I've got them peas in the greenhouse we saw earlier. I'm going to put them out if they're going to meet the same fate. So I'll have a think overnight. It's the next day, the 29th, and I'm back. Sunny at the minute, but quite changeable today. A little bit cooler than yesterday. So, onion update. So, chopped one of those onions. As expected, when they go to seed, a portion of it turns into like a solid core, which is probably smells of onion, but probably not the best for cooking with. But the rest of the onion is fine. It's fine. Peas. So how am I going to protect the peas? Last year I did put like twigs down, and that seemed to work. So I'm out of twigs at the minute. I did Google overnight. The nettles sting birds. No fruitful results on that search. But what do I have easy access to? Holly. So I'm thinking they're twigs and they're spiky. So I've put the 3 peas from the greenhouse in with the other peas, surrounded them with some nice holly, just loosely held in by bits of string so they don't blow away. Hopefully that'll deter the birds. Either they can't see the little shoots, or birds don't like holly because it's spiky. Who knows? Who knows? We might find out. Next, exciting broad beans. So the next bed along, what have we got? We've got onion sets, sowed October, November time. A couple have started to bolt, but we'll just leave them. The rest seem okay. Not much weeding to be done there. We do have spinach that's been in the ground since last summer. It's gone to seed. It's gone to seed. All of that's going to come up, go on the compost heap. When you say put things on the compost heap, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. They will, nice lot of greenery, easy to break down, turn into compost. I'll see if there's any leaves on that are any good for eating. I haven't really picking that as often as I should, so it's just overgrown, gone to seed. Cut all that back. That will help, because behind the spinach I do have some beetroot growing, which are sort of shielded from the sun. There's my broad beans. Same thing with the chard has happened with the spinach. Started to go to seed, so plenty of compostable material there, some for eating, and lastly a row of onions there as well. So chop them down, harvest my broad beans. I think I'll just remove the plants. That'll be it for them. Chop the plants down, chop the spinach down. All good. Broad beans. Ahoy! And the area's clear. Let's have a quick look at some points of note. Obviously the beetroot here's got more light now, that's fine. I've cut down the spinach and the chard about 3 or 4 times in the last 6 months. They've always come back. Where they're now, because they've gone to seed, is they'll still do that or not, we will see. Also notice lack of weeds. I haven't weeded this bit yet. There's a few bits of grass and stuff, but those big green plants have suppressed the weeds nicely. So we've got a bag of edibles. Let's go look at the broad beans. I haven't grown broad beans before. Sowed the seeds in October, start of November. Let's have a bean parade. Varying bean sizes. If they're small, you can eat the pod. If they're bigger, best to shell the beans. They've all kind of come up once, so it's not like green beans where you can keep picking and picking and picking. So that's why I took the plants out, because everything's turned into a pod of beans. There's no flowers on there to develop into more pods. So all good there, and obviously the byproduct of all this is some nice compostable material. What was half an hour ago an empty compost bin is now a full compost bin. I'm going to take the bean pods off the plants, see how many we've got, maybe weigh them later.
Dig. Dave. Dig.
Dig.
So a load of broad beans, a load of compostable material. Some of the pods are bigger and fatter. Some are a bit thinner. I didn't want to leave them till they get too big and too sort of, let's say, hard. I prefer them when they're all nice and soft. Pick a couple out. Nice juicy beans there. Yes, I think I'll be growing broad beans again. Might be sick of them by the end of the week though. Whatever. So the front end of the allotment, we've got our strawberries. So in drawers, strawberries. Flowering up nicely. There's even a strawberry developing there. All is good there. And then we get onto that monstrosity. So the hugel culture bed I put in a couple of months back I've mentioned it on a previous video, I've just got grass coming through. Old wood at the bottom, rotting away nicely. Earth with the grass that was on it turned upside down to hopefully kill the grass off. And loads of mulch put on top. That was how it was supposed to work. Grass can't grow because it hasn't got any sunlight, etc. The mulch can't have been deep enough. There's 10 wheelbarrows full of it on there, but the grass is coming through. Part of me is like, yeah, Dave, just keep on it, but big effort in. I haven't the time or the inclination to individually pick out blades of grass. I've sowed wild flower seeds in there and sunflowers, so I can't even hoe it. So what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Should I let it bother me? Should I make the best of it? So those nasturtiums we saw earlier, they're going to go in there. I'm going to take a bit of the grass out, but nasturtiums in there for some ground cover. I've got some reinforcements coming from home next week. Coming next time, we'll be planting out the tomatoes and the pumpkins. I know, darling, I know. That have been living outside for a couple of weeks in the shelter of this cold frame. So those pumpkins, some of those can go on here, ground cover, hopefully suppress the grass. It turns out I haven't made a hugelkultur bed, I've made a grassy knoll, and I'm going to live with that. I'm going to live with that, try my best not to worry about it too much, because this little bit of the allotment is just a small part of this. And this little allotment is just part of this. Does it matter? No, it does not. Thank you for watching. Click subscribe, send me a comment. I'll see you next time. Cheers.